Let us begin, children, with the modifications of leaf. Now, modifications means, children, sometimes it happens that the shape, the structure, and even the function of a leaf changes to something else rather than what it used to do. That means in the previous video, children, I had already explained you that leaf has its particular functions, like it does the photosynthesis, transpiration, exchange of gases, etc. Now, other than this, when plant starts doing some other function and the leaves are involved in that, that is known as the leaf modification. Along with the important vital function of the leaf, that is photosynthesis, leaves of certain plants get modified. Modified means changed to perform some additional functions. To cope up means where you can adjust with the needs of the environment. Now, what are those modifications and what these structures are? So, let's see the first leaf modification, which is known as a leaf tendril. Now, tendril, children, in some weak stemmed plants, in some plants that have a weak stem, the plant or the whole structure of the plant is not able to stand straight. Then under such conditions, the leaf or maybe a part of a leaf like a leaflet gets changed into a wiry coiled structures. They become into a form of a coil. These coils are known as tendrils. And what is the function of these tendrils is, whenever they come in contact with any object, they coil around it. Coil around means to go round and round. So they coil around the support, and that way they help the plant to stand up straight and to climb up. So such modification is known as a leaf tendril, and you can find the leaf tendril in sweet pea. Now, as you can see in this picture, children, it is given in your books. You can see how the plant is being supported. Now, this plant has a very weak stem. It is not able to stand straight. So, there's a support that has been provided to it. And see how the leaves have changed into the tendrils. And these tendrils, they twine around the support and make the plant stand straight. So, this is the first modification of the leaf. The second leaf modification are the spines. Sometimes the leaves are modified into the hard pointed structures which are known as spines. Now these spines, children, they first of all check the loss of water. Now generally these leaf spines are found in the plants that grow in the deserts where there is already scarcity of water. So the plant does not want to lose a lot of water by transpiration. So in order to save the water, the leaves change into the spines, and so the transpiration does not take place. They also protect the plant from the grazing animals. If the spines are not there, the grazing animals, generally the herbivores and all, children, they might eat away the plant, and if they eat the leaves of the plant will not be able to do the photosynthesis, so the plant dies. So it also avoids the grazing animals from eating the plant. Where can you find the leaf spines, children? In cactus, opuntia, berberis, aloe. So all these plants, they contain the modification of the leaf, which is known as leaf spine. Now you must be wondering, children, if in a cactus the leaves are modified into the spines, so who is doing the photosynthesis? You have seen the cactus, it looks green. It has a phyllodes which looks green. Now look at this picture, children, of the cactus which is shown in your books. See, it has a green portion. Now what is this green portion if the leaves are turned into spines? Now what is this? Let's see. Now when leaves get changed into the spines, children, what does the stem do? The stem of a cactus plants become green and fleshy and starts doing the process of photosynthesis. The third leaf modification is a phyllodes, children. Now phyllodes, do you remember, children? Phyllodes is made from the petiole. Now what was petiole? Petiole is the small stalk of the leaf with which it is attached to the stem. So when the petiole becomes expanded into a green flat leaf-like structure, it is termed to be a phyllodes. Now this phyllodes, children, it also helps in the conserving the water. That means it helps in storing the water and also reduces the loss of the water that will take place. Now look at this structure. It is shown over here, children. This is actually the petiole of the plant. Now it has become broad and it has become swollen. Why? Because it is storing water. And see, the leaflets are over here, so they are reduced. So this is again another modification of a leaf. We come to the fourth modification, children, hooks. In Bignonia, the terminal leaves, that is the leaflets of it, they become changed into the hooks. Now these hooks also help them in climbing any support. The hooks give the appearance of the claws of a cat. Now if you are doing those people who climb up on the mountains and all, children, they make use of special hooks with the help of which they try to fix themselves the ropes that are there, and then they are clinging to it and they try to climb. Similarly, these plants, children, the tip of the terminal leaflets, or means the leaflets that are there towards the apex, they develop a hook, and this hook, it goes and it clings to the support and helps the plant in climbing. So here is a picture of the hooks that you can see, children, how the hooks are looking. It looks like the claws of an animal, and this helps the plant in moving or climbing up on a support. Next we come to the scale leaves. These are the dry, thin, or they may be even thick or fleshy. When they store the food in them, they can be thick and fleshy also. Non-photosynthetic, they will not help in the photosynthesis. They protect the bud. And you have seen the scale leaves on ginger. Now the next one is insectivorous plants. Sometimes the leaves of certain plants, they help in making certain structures which can trap the insects. And then these insects are eaten away by the plant. So such plants, children, where the leaves can even get modified in trapping the insects, are known as insectivorous plants. These plants grow in infertile soil. Now infertile means which has not a lot of fertility. So they do not get a lot of nitrogen, which is very, very important for making proteins in the plant. So what do? Is they start eating the insects, and from the body of the insects they get what they require. Now the first one is the pitcher plant. Now have a look at the picture, children. The leaf lamina. You know what is a leaf lamina, children? It gets changed into a pitcher. Now look at this structure, children. Looks like a pitcher, and the leaf apex becomes the lid. You can see over here, this structure is looking like a lid. So when the insect goes inside, this lid closes, and when the lid closes, the insect is not allowed to move out and it gets digested inside this pitcher. So this is what is known as a pitcher plant. In some plants, the leaf gets changed into a sac-like structure called a bladder. Now look at this sac-like structure. It gets changed into a bladder. The bladder has an entry point. Now over here, if you look at it very minutely, children, it has an opening on the top. So that is the opening through which the insect comes inside. The insect enters through this opening, and then they are digested inside the bladder. Once the insect gets inside, it is not allowed to move out, and then it slowly gets digested inside these bladders. Next we come to the Venus flytrap. Now have a look at this picture, children. In this, the leaf blade gets divided into two parts. The complete leaf from the midrib, it gets changed, or it gets divided into two parts that act as the flips of the side. And the incisions on the side, that means the cuttings on the side of the leaves, they develop like the teeth-like structure, like you have the teeth in the comb. So they make that kind of a structure. When the insect enters inside, both these both the ends, they come and they join into one another. That means they interlock, and once they interlock, the insect is not allowed to move out. The insect is then digested and is eaten away over here inside the leaf. So this is how the leaf gets modified in a Venus fly trap. So that's it for today's video, children. I hope I made myself very clear to you and you have understood each and every point that I have explained to you in today's video. If you have really understood, you know what is to be done. Please do like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And please hit the bell icon, because after that you will be notified with every new video that I'm going to upload. See you very soon with rest of the videos upcoming soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.